shipping changes.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome into the Rockstar Flipper YouTube channel. Today's the last day of March. It's the 31st. It's Sunday, 2019, of course. And since summer is just around the corner, we're starting April. So we got just April and May, and then we'll be into June when summer officially starts. I want to do some of the best selling items for summer. I'm going to cover some of the items that are normally great sellers during every summer, and then some of the items that might be a little more specific to 2019 to right now, items that you should be looking for. Obviously, when you want to sell items for a certain season, you want to try to be ahead of the game, and about a month, 30 to 60 days out, you can start looking for those items and start getting them up in your stores, because people want to start looking for them and buying them to get them ready for their summer vacations, or items they can give the kids staying at home when they're out of school, or things like that. So you always want to be 30 to 60 days ahead of the schedule. So that's right about the end of this month is when you want to start, sourcing and getting all that summer gear stocked up. If you have the capital and can afford to sit it to the side for a month or two. Otherwise, you can wait certainly until May or June, but at least you'll have this list together and you will know some of the best selling items for summer 2019 for eBay and also for Amazon and Poshmark, because a lot of these items could certainly be cross-posted to different platforms. So without further ado, let's just go over to my computer and I will show you them visually. That way you guys can take this list, you can screenshot, or you can download this video, record it, whatever you need to do, and have it with you as you prepare for your summer sales. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna start. This is a list that I've put together of these 14 or 15 items that you guys should really be looking for summer. And I'm starting it off right with Game of Thrones. Now, why Game of Thrones? Anybody who doesn't know or hasn't watched Game of Thrones, and I know I'm going to get a bunch of comments of people that are like, haven't seen it, sorry, and that's cool, that's awesome, because until last month, I hadn't seen it either. I've since binged watched about 5 seasons, and I'm working my way to the last couple. The Game of Thrones series is coming to an end. It's HBO, and the last season is happening and starting, I believe, next month, April or May. And so all of their merchandise is going to go up in value. There's not going to be any more made for new seasons because there won't be any new seasons. Apparently, the Funko Pop figures are really holy grails. Any of the Jaime Lannisters or the Headless Ned Starks, these things are worth thousands and thousands of dollars, but also collectibles for any of the series people, like some of the swords like Arya uses. If you're not familiar with these people, you won't know what I'm talking about, but the sword that Eddard Stark, that Ned uses, there's a replica one. It's called, the ice sword. It's 51 of 500. There was only 500 made. So that sword sold for $2,000 best offer. Again, some more, $1,500, $1,600 Funko Pop figures. There's a factory sealed archive box, it's sold expensive. There's books, there's malt collections. As we keep scrolling down, there's obviously DVD lots. Be careful on pricing because some of the stuff is expensive. Somebody sold a set of 6 early Victorian dining chairs, like Game of Thrones. That is considered almost keyword manipulation, so be careful, guys, how you do that. Comic books. Here's a Game of Thrones jacket, which is pretty cool, $999. So anything that you can do Game of Thrones. Also, in addition, the Game of Thrones clothing, suits of armor, t-shirts, sweaters. The shoes are really, really popular. Adidas has a bunch of Ultra Boost shoes. Here's a Game of Thrones Adidas Ultra Boost House Targaryen, dragons black and red. Anyone who doesn't know, Targaryen is Daenerys Targaryen. She's the one most people are familiar with, the bleached white blonde haired girl on the show. Even if you don't watch it, you probably know what I'm talking about. She's the mother of dragons. If you've ever seen the Game of Thrones commercials, she controls the dragons, and her last name is Targaryen. So these shoes are based on her. They call them houses instead of families. So instead of like family Targaryen, it's House Targaryen. That's how it was back in the day. So a bunch of other cool stuff. Anything you can find Game of Thrones will do really well, especially when the series ends and is over with. So that's number 1, Game of Thrones, summer 2019. All right, let's keep rolling on over here. Baseball, the boys of summer. They call them that for a reason. Baseball runs from April, through October, April, May, June, July, August, and September. It's a 6-month sport. And October for the World Series. And right now, 3 of the hottest players in baseball that are being watched by everybody, just signed enormous, humongous contracts. And you guys might be familiar with Manny Machado. He came from the Baltimore Orioles. He's now over on the Dodgers. And the number one signed guy this year is Mike Trout. If you're not familiar with him, look him up, Google him. He's like a once-in-a-lifetime generation player, kind of like a Bryce Harper, but I think Trout is the better player. He's older, but better player. He just signed a $430 million historic biggest contract ever in baseball. Bryce Harper signed like 350 and Manny got like 300 or 275. They all signed huge contracts, but Mike was the top of the mark. And so anything baseball, especially with those three guys, Manny Machado, Bryce Harper, and Mike Trout, their shoes, their jerseys, their hats, anything that is around them is going to do really well. Now, Mike Trout has some cleats, some Lunar Vapor cleats that do well, some Nike Force Zoom Trout 5s that do okay. If you're a sneakerhead, I'm sure you guys know all about these things. The blue and black Trout 4 turf shoes, they were at 85 best offer plus the 9 shipping. So definitely look out for any of those with those three names. You want to write those down if you're not familiar, but Mike Trout, Manny Machado, and Bryce Harper, the three big offseason signings, huge contracts. And anything baseball, remember, baseball mitts are going to do good. Baseball cleats are going to do really good right now if you can get them and get them sold, because people are going to need them. They might need them halfway through the season to replace a pair that they damaged. Catcher equipment, first baseman's gloves, catcher's gloves, baseball bats are really good. Keep an eye out for this stuff at garage sales, at yard sales, at thrift stores, at flea markets. All positive things that you can really do well on. So that's number 2 is baseball, including these three high-paid rich dudes. All right, moving on to number 3. Oh, here's some more Mike Trout action figures in case you need to know. Okay, moving on to number 3 is going to be bathing suits. Specifically, women's one-piece bathing suits are really, really in right now. The tankini, monokini things were really hot last year. They still do well. Lily Pulitzer makes bathing suits. A lot of people don't realize that. The Miracle suits, they're the thinning ones. They're for plus size. They do exactly what they are supposed to do. They make you look thinner. They're Miracle suits. I've sold tons of Miracle suits. I've bought them at like thrift stores for, $1.99, $2.99. Now, here in Florida, it's a little harder because we sell bathing suits all year round. So they're always in, in December. I was taking pictures showing you guys of me in our pool in January, December, January. So it's harder. But when you live up north, you might be able to, in November, December, January, pick up bathing suits, like Miracle suits and thinning suits and Carol Ware or, Lily Pulitzer suits for $1, $2, because your stores just want to get rid of them. They can't sell them in Minnesota in December. Nobody's buying bathing suits. So you grab them all up for $1 or $2, and then all of a sudden you throw them up online and bang, you're getting 25, 30, 35 bucks for some of these higher end expensive suits. Azul Maxine of Hollywood, I've sold these as well. They're one pieces with the cover-ups. They're for plus size. I think they might sell regular size too, but Azul Maxine of Hollywood, and somebody that's more familiar, a female, please comment if you can. I think they specialize in plus size. The ones that I've sold have been plus size, but it's possible, I'd have to look on their site, that they also do regular size. I'm not totally sure. But obviously plus size bathing suits, just like any other plus size clothing, is going to do really, really well. Spanx also sells bathing suits. They do well. Diane von Furstenberg, DVF, designer, that kind of stuff is going to sell well. Two-piece bathing suits still sell great. You can still sell the tops. Victoria's Secret, since they discontinued a lot of bathing suits, or all of them, I think, they still do well in one piece or two pieces. Speedo's still good. Victoria's Secret, there it is right there. I mean, there's so many different brands and things that you can look for. I've seen Calvin Klein. I've seen Michael Kors bathing suits. I've seen Speedos. I've seen it all. So keep an eye out for those. It is now summer, so everyone's going to be buying them. All right, the men's side of it, I love board shorts. This is what I wear. Tommy Bahama, obviously one of the most well-known, biggest makers of men's board shorts, outside of like the Nikes and the Adidases and stuff. Tommy Bahama is where guys go for these Hawaiian tropical board shorts. They have solids as well. Fishing, Margaritaville, pretty big. They don't do as much, but the Tommy Bahamas are the most well-known. The brighter the print, the bigger the floral, whether it's Tommy or not, will get you a lot of hits and a lot of sales. Tommy Hilfiger with their vintage, the big flags, they'll do well. Again, Nike, Adidas, some Reebok, things like that are all really great brands to jump on as well. Okay, men's flip-flops. Now, this is kind of an odd one. People are going to probably get grossed out and ewed out over this, but last year, you might remember when I left for eBay Open, about 2 weeks before, I had a pair of Guess flip-flops that I loved. I destroyed them. I broke them. They ripped clear off, and they didn't really hold up that well. Those flip-flops only lasted like 6 months. Again, here in Florida where I live in Tampa, flip-flops are kind of an all-year-round thing, so you wear them on and off. You switch on and off with tennis shoes, but you can wear flip-flops anytime. It doesn't, we do get some cold nights, but pretty much any other night. So I had to go on a couple weeks before eBay Open and buy some new ones. And the pair that I wear is actually on this list. I'll show you in a second. I still own them from last year. They're still great condition. I still love them. Obviously, if you get designer, Louis Vuitton, J. Crew seems to do well. Air Jordan slip-ons. Reef is really good brand. I like Reef. I've owned some of those. Gucci slips are really good. All kinds of different ones that you can buy. Here's the pair that I bought before I went to eBay Open in Vegas last year was men's Margaritaville. Now, these sold for $27. Now, you can find some designer pair used, maybe at thrift stores, or maybe people getting rid of them at garage sales or what have you. But the other thing that you can do is maybe look for some wholesale sources, which I've provided you guys some in some of my other videos. And maybe they're not Margaritaville or Gucci or Louis Vuitton, but you could buy some that are just floral, tropical, Hawaiian, and get them for $3, $4, $5 brand new and put them up for $25 and maybe do well on that. That would take a little bit more work, but flip-flops do really well. These are also really, really good items for Poshmark. Flip-flops, I want to say I almost bought that pair off of Posh. I don't know why I ended up buying it from eBay over Posh. I don't think it was a pricing issue. I think it might have been something else, but this is a really good item to sell for summer. Oakley's, Vineyard Vines, all great brands. Okay, the kids are home from school. They're going on trips. They're going on travel, road trips, airplane rides, 2, 3, 4 hour airplane rides. They got to have something to keep themselves entertained. Most of those age kids, I'm talking, kids between 3, 4 years old, 5 years old, up to like 9 or 10, 11, probably don't have cell phones. I don't think most parents get their kids cell phones until they're at least teenagers. I mean, I know a lot of younger kids have phones now, but in theory, if I was a parent of a 9-year-old, they certainly wouldn't have a cell phone, and they wouldn't have a cell phone that had internet and purchasing capabilities if they did. So the next best thing is mobile video games, handheld 3DSs, XLs, Nintendos, anything like this with Pokemon, with Zelda, with racing games, with whatever they can play on it is absolutely a no-lose situation. Buy them at yard sales, at pawn shops, at thrift stores, at garage sales, at estate sales, everywhere you can find them. Look up the exact model and color that you have. Check if it works. Check that it powers on. Check for chargers, accessories. The more games you have, the more you can charge. And you can see most of these 3DS XLs are in the mid-100s to high 100s, depending on which one. So always look them up. Some of them worth a little less. Some of them worth, closer to $200. So there could be scores. You could find one at a garage sale. Somebody just wants it gone. Their kid doesn't play it anymore. Hey, give me $50 at a garage sale. Bang, you turn around, sell it for $150 and pretty good profit. All right, while we're on the topic of travel, luggage. Those of you that travel, especially if you go to eBay Open, to the conferences, I go to 3 or 4 conferences a year. We travel around. It's expensive, man. So I just bought a suitcase with a smaller one inside of it for Vegas last year. We needed new luggage, and thankfully my buddy Chris actually had a pallet of luggage that he bought and sold, and so he had a really good one. You guys probably saw that one in some of my videos that I got cheap. It was worth $125. His selling price, it was probably $200 retail. And he, because I'm a friend and he had purchased it for $40 or $50. He sold it to me for $60 or $70 just to make a couple bucks. So that was great. But if you come on eBay and you look at some of these, especially like laptop bags, my laptop bag that I used is, I bought it brand new off eBay for like $40 or $50 because it had, multiple padded compartments and holders, and I wanted a nice one to protect my laptop. You can't put a value on protecting a $2,000 laptop with, an iPad in there and chargers and all that stuff. Now I have a nice backpack that Paul DeLeo sent me, so thank you, Paul, for the backpack that I'm using now. But some of these Hartmann canvas bags are really expensive. Like this one's $69. Patagonia is really expensive. They make good ones. Swiss Gear makes good ones. There you go. Swiss Gear polycarb hard side. This one sold for $100 plus 33 shipping, best offer. So $133, they got about $100. Now, this is something that you would have to learn how to ship, and the shipping prices, shipping this to somebody's $20, $30, but you can learn it. And if you can buy these things for, at a garage sale for $15 or $20, put them up and sell them for $100, make yourself $80, and then, even after fees and shipping, you can still make $40, $50. it's a good profit. So Orvis makes good bags. Code Alpha I've heard of. Obviously Harley Davidson, there you go. If it's really high-end expensive, like here's a Diane von Furstenberg, that's just a bag. But if you're talking about Louis Vuitton or Gucci or Burberry or anything that, Vera Bradley can sell for a lot of money, luggage is just expensive. So everyone's going on trips, everyone's going on vacations, and they need to get some luggage. Okay, so while everyone's out there at the beach and on vacation and scuba diving and skydiving and snorkeling, everyone uses GoPros now. I have a GoPro Hero 7. It's the new hyper smooth, really stabilized camera. I went ahead and looked them up to see, they've only been out for 4 or 5 months, what they're selling for used. I paid $400. They're $399 brand new for the black edition. And here they are used. The white ones are selling, which is less, for $160, $170. Trying to find a black edition on here. Here's a black one that sold used with all the accessories for almost full price. Here's one that sold for $325 plus 9. So they got $334 for a used one. I paid, with extra batteries, mind you, I paid $400 for mine brand new. So they're getting, 80% of value, 90% of value, or 80% of value used. So definitely something to keep an eye out for. Here's a Hero 7 Black pre-owned, $360, free returns, free shipping. So they've got, again, almost 90% of value there. 90% would have been, $370. So they got like 88% of value. So GoPros, people love them. They're waterproof. They go, anywhere, everywhere. They're small. They're portable. They have great picture now that they've upgraded them. Everything looks wonderful. I'll be upgrading or uploading a 4K. The new one uploads in 4K. So I'll be uploading a video for you guys to check out from Orlando. That I took on the GoPro. Okay, yard and garden. Now, this is an interesting one that a lot of people don't think about. Yard and garden in general, barbecuing tools. I didn't pull up any individual items because this is a category I'm not familiar with. I don't sell any of this stuff, but it is one of the top selling items on all of eBay. I know somebody who buys and sells home and garden tools, accessories, light kits, outdoor lighting, solar lighting, and does $5 million a year between eBay and Amazon. His profits are about $1 million to $1.5 million. He's at like 20%-ish, 25%, give or take. So just something to keep an eye out for, home and garden. Not something I'm familiar with. If you feel comfortable, definitely comment below and tell me what you sell in the home and gardening section. This I am comfortable with. This is the Ring Doorbell 2. You guys know what this is. It attaches to your house, and you can see who's at your front door. Videotape. It's got a really wide view, and you can almost see like your driveway, your street out in front of your house, and you can really keep an eye on who's coming and going, what happened. If something happened, you'll have the video of it. And obviously, if somebody knocks that you don't want to answer the door for, there you go. You don't have to answer the door in your shorts and no shirt. They're expensive, used. I mean, the Ring Doorbell 2, here's one that's pre-owned, $133. This one is $200 brand new. Here's another one pre-owned for $100, $173. So you can see there's some value in that. Okay, now this one is one that I might catch a little heat for, but I'm going to tell you why I put it on here, and I'm allowed to say this because I live in Florida. When hurricane season starts in June, we've got a couple months, but when it starts, people will start stocking up. Once the first storm, second storm hits, most of the storms don't really start in June. That's when the season officially starts. You don't really start seeing the first storms until July. Typically, the worst month for hurricanes is August, end of August to middle of September. If you look at Katrina, if you look at Hugo, if you look at Gene, if you look at Harvey, if you look at all, last year Irma, if you look at all these big storms, it was typically, like the 29th of August. We left on the 6th of September for Irma. So right around that first week of September, last week of August, those 14, 21 days are key for hurricanes. So sometime around the end of July, people have noticed a couple small storms come and go, and they start stocking up on supplies. And by this, I mean power inverters. These are power inverters that plug into your car, or they're portable, and you can plug in laptops and cell phone chargers and have a portable supply of power to charge things. Now, this isn't going to run your house. It's not going to run your refrigerator in most cases. It's not going to run, it'll run very small things, a laptop, an iPad, a cell phone, the key essentials to keep you up and running. It'll recharge your camera if you're a YouTuber. It might run a microwave or a coffee maker. You'd have to check on the wattage. It just depends. But these things can be very expensive. And the other thing that happens is when people in Florida start stocking up on these stores run out of these things weeks and weeks before storms come through. Once people start, hearing about a couple storms, they start buying stuff, and then slowly but surely the store shelves run out. They can't keep up, and then all of a sudden the stores are out, and people are like, man, I really wish I had a power inverter in case a storm hits in a week or 2 or 3. And they go online and they buy a power inverter. And sure enough, a couple weeks later, a storm comes in and they're glad they had it. So this is something, I'm not telling you to price gouge people. I'm not telling you to take advantage of people. But if you can retail arbitrage these and resell them, this is something I recommend for somebody that has capital, has money, is okay with the risk of holding inventory. You guys know how it works, but it can definitely be done. This is also something, if you happen to live in one of these states, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, any of the panhandle states, the Gulf states, I'm sure I'm missing one there. But if you live in any of these states, then you are certainly able to flip them locally. Go to the store, buy up the store's power inverters or generators for $200, buy them all. There's none left at the store. No one can get them. Put them up on Craigslist for $300. People do it all the time. I'm not recommending it. I don't think it's cool, but I'm just telling you that people do it all the time. Same thing with the generators. There you go. Hurricane supplies. Also flashlights, mag lights, things that will help that people can have stocked in the house just in case a storm hits that you're not gouging them on. Okay, next is sunglasses. It's summer, the sun. Obviously, everyone's going to want sunglasses. Sunglasses are expensive. Everything from Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Cartier, all the way down to, Maui Jim. Ray-Bans, probably one of the most expensive, popular brands of sunglasses. Most of those range between $250 to $450 for a good pair of Ray-Bans. Oakley's, which happen to be one of my favorites with polarized, they run about $150 to $175 for a good pair. So if you can find them used, you can usually get $75 to $100. Obviously, these higher end brand ones like Cartier and Louis, the rare Oakleys. If we keep scrolling down and get into some like cheaper pairs, again, some Oakleys, you keep seeing the same brands over and over again. So, definitely look for those Ray-Bans. Coach has sunglasses. Louis does. Gucci does. Oakley does. Cartier, Maui Jims, probably couple that I'm missing. Guess is okay. Burberry has them. Chanel. Make sure they're real. They're definitely highly faked, of course. But if you can find some real ones or you can find some mid-range ones, then you can be in good shape and make some money. And there you go. So that is sunglasses. Next, if people have pools, which I do, pool inflatables, pool toys, pool rafts, super soakers, water guns, basketball hoops, nets, things like that, all great for people with pools. I'm not going to get into those too deep because these are obvious. Floating drink holders are really funny and popular. People love them. Pool storage, pool supplies, pool test kits, pool parts. If you can, come across a supply of parts or used things, those would all be good. Something to think about. All right, golf. Golf is a huge sport. Of course, it's huge here in Florida. It's huge out in Arizona, California, the Carolinas, anywhere that has good weather. But we have some of the best golf courses in the country, obviously here in Florida. Palm Beach, Mar-a-Lago, Trump's Place. Here on the Gulf Coast, we have some amazing golf courses, Diamond, Apollo Beach, just all kinds of different things. Golf balls sell. Used golf balls sell excellent. Look, 6 dozen Titleist golf balls. They sold them for $43, almost $44. 12 balls sold for $30, 24 balls for $40. So there's some money to be made. Some of these guys, one of these guys was featured in an eBay story a few years back, 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago. He, I think, was from Arizona, and he would collect golf balls out in the desert that people hit because it's just kind of how they do it out there. And he would take them back to his building, and he bought this huge pressure washing machine where he could just dump all the balls into it. That thing was probably like the size of a walk-in closet. He dumped hundreds of golf balls into it. It would pressurize them, clean them, and then he would box them into his own boxes, his own, pre-made boxes that he would order from, Associated Paper that had his name on it, Doug's Golf Supplies. And he would put all these golf balls in there and sell them in boxes of, refurbished, recleaned, reconditioned Nike golf balls, 10 balls for $20. And they would sell. He actually was doing over $1 million a year on eBay. So golf supplies, golf clubs, if you know how to ship them, FedEx has boxes. We talked about it in a video a little while ago. Golf balls, golf clubs, golf cleats. Cleats are really, really important for golfers. If you don't know, if you've never golfed, you wouldn't understand, but trust me, they are. Any kind of supplies, the range finders. People love the portable range finders, even though I think our cell phones pretty much can do any of what those can do on some of the free apps or paid apps. All right, we're moving into the last three. So this one is camping. I've never been a camper. I've gone camping a few times, not big on it, but I know the stuff is expensive. Lanterns, by far, super expensive. Tents, out of this world expensive. Camping, vintage Coleman stoves can be expensive. Lights, flashlights, sleeping mattresses, blankets, everything you would need. Hiking, outdoor camping backpacks like backpackers across Europe use. Tons and tons of stuff for camping. Not something I'm knowledgeable on. I don't sell it. If I saw it, I might be able to, take a look at it and look it up, but it might be something that you're interested in or know a little something about. I don't claim to know everything about everything, but, yard and garden, outside camping, not really my thing. Okay. This is a weird one. Everyone's going to give me a weird look on this, but look, 3,000 used fedora hats have sold in the last 90 days. Okay. So that's pretty good. So if you think about, we're talking about 30 a day, more than 30 a day have sold. More than 30 fedoras used per day in the last 90 days. If you take that 2,000, you see it 2,881 divided by 90 days, that's 32 a day to be exact. That's pretty good for a niche item like that. And look at the prices. Look, 38 and 10, 48, 50 and 10, 42. Now this one sold for 13 plus 7, still fetched $21. Weird. $29 combined for this one. 34, 31, almost 40. This one, 124. Look, fedoras are a really niche item. If you come across them, grab them, especially if they're a few bucks. Guaranteed you're going to get at least 20, 30 bucks for even the cheaper ones. Sometimes 40, 50. Fedora is something to really look into. The other thing about fedoras, and I'm not want to put this too much public because it's not really easy to do and it's very hard to find a supplier, but if you happen to come across it, buying fedoras in bulk might be something you could do. You'll pick them up for $3, $4, list them all for 25. Away you go. All right, we're going to do the last one, and since we sell a lot of clothing, obviously summer clothing, athletic clothing is the end of the line. I picked Lululemon because it's super expensive, it's super popular, and it sells as fast as you can list it. It's eBay, it's Poshmark, it's Etsy, it's everywhere you can sell it locally, in lots, individual pieces. Items are worth $30, $50, $40, new, used, or otherwise, stained even. I mean, come on. Here's a Lululemon size 8. Lot of 20 tops, jackets, and pants. They sold for $325 plus they got $20 in shipping. So the total for that purchase was $344.95, and they sold 20 of them. That's an average price of $17.25. So in a lot, they're getting $17 to $20. They probably could have sold that off individually for more, but they just wanted to get rid of it all. Somebody could have bought that and probably flipped it almost. 40 pieces for $343. Again, that's probably less. That's like $8, $9 for this lot here. Lot of 50 they sold for $435 with best offer, call it $400. So people getting in lots anywhere from $9 to $12 on up, depending. Here's a mixed lot of 50. They got even less. This one sold for $380, less best offer, so $350. So they got $7 a unit. Some people might be flipping some of this, buying these lots. Not a bad sourcing idea. See that? I just gave you guys an idea. You're buying Lululemon for $8 and $10 a unit, and you're able to flip it for even 20 or 25. Might not be a bad idea, but you have to have the capital to put out, of course. And as we scroll down, you guys see the individual pieces. We all know what Lulu is worth on the individual side. Tons of individual pieces. They also sell bags and jackets, apparently. I didn't know they sold jackets. I've seen the bags, but I didn't know they sold those big puffy jackets. But that's pretty cool. So anyways, Lululemon, Athleta, Fabletics, Adidas, Nike, athletic wear, workout wear. People want to get their summer bodies back, beach bodies back. And so they work out a lot more. They want to keep it going during the beach season and vacation season and eBay open season. And so there you go. That is the update on the clothing situation. So those are all summer items, 2019. If you have any other suggestions that you feel comfortable adding to the comment section, please do not hesitate. Use that comment section. Tell me what other items we should be looking for that we can add to the list. Help your fellow sellers, help yourself out, because this list is going to help many, many people in addition to the comment section. And if you're listening to this video, please do check out the comment section for additional ideas. Appreciate you guys watching. Thank you as always. And make sure you email me, rockstarflipper@gmail.com, if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Also use the comment section. And if you haven't left me your email, please do rockstarflipperonline.com. You can check out the website and leave me your email, and I'll update you with all the latest news, items, hot selling items, videos, products, discounts, specials, everything that you'll need to know directly to your email. Appreciate everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you again tomorrow in April 2019.